your contract extension looming here this offseason, playing as well as you did individually this year, does that go into the calculus of how long you might want to bump that out? Like, you played as well as you did this year, like, does that say in your head, like, do you have a number in your head, or because you put up the numbers that you did today, this year, you might think, I can sign this for a real long time?
Yeah, no, I don't really think like that. I've always just gone year to year, and that's always kind of served me well as far as how I evaluate my game and that sort of thing. There's always a lot of factors, but I think that's separate from talking contract, and obviously at my age and things like that, there'll be a lot of factors. But as far as just evaluating my game, I don't look any differently at how much longer I can play based off that. I think it's always just evaluating my game for what it is, not my age.
Just to clarify, when you said year to year, are you thinking about doing year to year deals moving forward?
No, I'm saying just when you're looking at year to year and evaluating your game, it doesn't, whether I was 26 and had a good year, I don't it's nice that, I felt good, was able to play all the games and things like that, but as far as the outlook, I don't think it changes how I approach that.
Do you have the intention of signing an extension when you can this summer? Is possible?
Well, obviously I'm going to talk to Kyle and have a conversation with him, but we'll see. I think it just, it's something that, I'll have conversations with him about.
That's a long clip to open with, and we usually will not play a clip that long to start, but I think the context there is important. I also love Tim Benz. He's a friend of mine. It's a long question, and he had to drop in the word calculus. He had to go with the Syracuse word, Dorin. Of course he did.
I saw Tim yesterday, and he talked about this question that he asked.
Did he? Mm-hmm. You were speaking to some sort of class or something like that?
We did a foundation for Parkinson's. It was Mackie, Benz, and myself.
Oh, cool.
And we did like a nice little podcast, and Ellis Cannon, too.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. Teach people about broadcasting kind of deal?
Yeah, and just make people, up to speed to what's going on in the sports world in Pittsburgh. It was a great time. It was at Mike's Beer Bar. It was fantastic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good guys, all of them.
Yes.
All good guys. Worked with all those people. They're excellent men, and you are my favorite, and I'm happy you didn't hit a deer on your way into work today.
Thank you.
So Tim did a good job there. Shelly Anderson did a good job following up. I think that the context is really important, but this is the part that we're going to focus on.
Do you have the intention of signing an extension when you can this summer? Is possible?
Well, obviously I'm going to talk to Kyle and have a conversation with him, but we'll see. I think it just, it's something that, I'll have conversations with him about.
We're going to talk to Rob Rossi today at 8, because Rob is the guy who's been saying he's going to stay. Crosby will be here for the long haul. National writers are saying different stuff, not because of what they've been told, but just speculation. And look, we've seen the Penguins now miss the playoffs for 2 consecutive years. If Crosby wants to win another Stanley Cup, there are other places where it would be more likely that he could get that done, obviously, than here in Pittsburgh. He said, we'll see. He said, I got to talk to Kyle. I'm not going to push the panic button here because of what Rob has said in the past and what Rob has written in the past, and I'm sure what Rob will tell us at 8 o'clock today. I do hear that, though, and go, it does make me worry a little bit, Dorin.
Yeah, the way he framed it. Now, hockey players are somewhat dry, and they're just going to try to say what they have to say and then get out. This isn't their forte of wanting to talk and elaborate on things. But with Sidney Crosby, this is it's not a new regime, but it's a new GM. And he's trying to probably respect Kyle Dubas and not just say hey, yeah, I'm going to be here. He's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's on the table. I've worked with, he's worked with 3 or 4 GMs.
He worked with Craig Patrick, Ray Shero.
5.
Jim Rutherford, Ron Hextall, and now Dubas.
Yeah, so, he's like, hey, I've been through this kind of this road here. I'm going to respect, and I don't know. And the whole self-evaluation part, too, kind of rolls into what he said here. The self-evaluation part saying, I go year to year. Whether I'm 26 years old and I play bad doesn't mean I'm going to retire and be done. And whenever I'm 36 years old and I play great, I don't know, what that's going to entail. So I kind of assess myself, and then now I'm in a contract situation. I'm going to go to Dubas. I'm going to talk to him. And if I feel that the way I'm playing here right now, the way I played this year, doesn't match what the focus is moving forward, I'm thinking I'm going to explore the rest of my career. I'm not going to explore options, but I'm going to explore what's best for me, and they're going to explore what's best for them, and then we're going to do that together. And if it doesn't match, hey, got to figure something out.
I think all of that is really well said. And the reason I wanted to play the full clip to start the show is because I've seen it shared elsewhere where Crosby's talking about year to year, and I think people thought he meant going year to year on the contract, kind of like Kevin Colbert did. That's not what he's saying. What I wanted to hear Crosby say as a fan, and his prerogative's his prerogative, but what I wanted to hear was, I want to play until I'm 45, or I want to play until I'm 42, or I want to play until whatever. I wanted him to kind of say how much longer he felt like he had. He didn't do that. And I don't know that a lot of athletes would want to do that. We heard Russell Wilson say he wanted to play 5 to 7 more years and win 2 rings. A lot of athletes won't. A lot of athletes are thinking year to year, and you would understand that better than I would, Dorin. And so I want your perspective on that. What I also wanted to hear from him, and we did not get, was I'd love to finish my career in Pittsburgh. Now, why I said it was well said, what you put out there is, I do think he wants to respect Kyle Dubas and respect the process and not want to have to put this kind of pressure on the new regime. Because when you say, I am Sidney Patrick Crosby and I want to finish my career here, what if that's not what Kyle Dubas wants to do? And so you've given him the opportunity to not be under pressure when he has his press conference today at 10. But those are the things I wanted to hear from Sid, and we didn't get them. And I'm not panicking, but it's why I go, just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. But do you think that he feels that way? Honestly, us just, kind of airing things out right now from what we've heard, that clip right there. And do you think that even though he didn't answer about staying here and finish his career here in Pittsburgh, do you think he really, at this point in his career, what happened this year and the change at GM and the change even with Fenway 3 years ago, do you think he really wants to finish his career here? Honestly. Do you think that really matters? That's a better question.
The answer yesterday makes me pause before I answer that question. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said, damn right Sidney Crosby wants to finish his career here. He lived with Mario, respects the heck out of him, loves the guy probably, right? And Mario played his entire career here. He grew up idolizing Stevie Y. And that's a guy who played, overrated player, by the way. A guy who played, yeah, good player, not overrated. He played 20 straight years with the Red Wings, and Crosby idolized the guy. And so I could see him wanting to do that and wanting to be the Derek Jeter of the Pittsburgh Penguins where you don't ever go anyplace else. You see the way Brady ended his career, though, and he won a championship elsewhere, and maybe he wouldn't have been able to win a championship again in New England. Rossi's always said he's going to stay here. He's going to sign a contract on July 1st. 2 weeks ago, I would have answered it differently. I still am guessing, educated as it is, I'm guessing he does want to spend his entire career here. But yesterday does make me go, before I answer.
So I believe Pony and Muller were talking about this yesterday, so I'm not going to just steal something that they've brought up. And I thought it was really good. And I'm gonna say it in a different way, probably a little bit. I think it really the question is, Crowley, does he want to finish his career as a Pittsburgh Penguin? Which is more important, finishing your career as a Pittsburgh Penguin or winning another cup? Does he think that the Pittsburgh Penguins, by the time that he retires, will win another cup? Or is it more I just want to finish my career? Does he want to win another Stanley Cup? And does he think that this regime can do that? That's the question, I think. Or is it just about finishing in Pittsburgh?
If I'm taking another stab at this with an educated guess, and I'm trying to read Crosby's mind, I think he wants to win another cup, but I think he wants to do it here.
For sure.
And I think...
Does he think that could get done, though?
I think he believes what he said the other day, which was, and I'm paraphrasing here, if we get in, you got a chance. In the NHL, if you get in, you get hot, you got a chance. And so that's what I think he really does believe, that he can win a championship here because he believes that they can get in here. And if you get in here, you can win a championship. Now, I think you got to also have a complete roster. You got to be good. To me, yeah, get in and you got a chance is true more so in the NHL than any place else. Maybe baseball too a little bit. But we've seen what it's taken this team to win championships, and you got to be good.
And he's seen that day in and day out.
He knows what it really takes.
What it really takes.
I think he kind of got fooled a little bit by these last few weeks. I do. I think he believes if they got in, they really did have a chance. That's what he said. I think he believes with this same core, they can have a chance next year. They think they'll be more consistent because they've learned their lessons from the last 2 years, and they'll get in. Yeah, I think he thinks he can still win a cup here. I think he gets that they're not a favorite, but I think he thinks he can win a cup here.
See, there's two people in your head, I believe, in these situations, especially whenever you're getting up there in your age. It's like, yeah, I can will myself to think that way because I'm such a competitor, and I can, I tried to will my team to get there this year, and it, like you said, almost got fooled down the stretch. But you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic and to kind of look in the mirror and be like, I'm going to be 37 years old. My guys are 38, 39 years old that I've done it with before. Like if I go to Colorado and play with McKinnon.
Oh my God, his buddy.
I mean, if I go back to Canada, team in Canada, back home.
I'll tell you,
those are the realistic conversations you have to have.
You do have to weigh your options, and I heard a little bit of that in the answer yesterday too, man. But I think when it's all said and done, and when we are doing the obit on Sidney Crosby's career, I do think we'll be talking about a player who played his entire career here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because think about Andrew McCutchen, too. Andrew McCutchen comes back. People love it here. Jeff Carter he announced his retirement. He played a large portion of his career in California with sunshine and beaches and surfing and all that fun stuff. His family relocated here. They're going to stay here. I think Sidney Crosby loves it here. And with McCutchen hitting home run number 300 and it being caught by a 9-year-old Pirates fan that I just read yesterday has leukemia.
I just read it too. Wow.
You think about the potential milestones that this guy could continue to rack up. Like he could set up Malkin's 500th goal next year. It's not like he wouldn't be here next year. He's under contract for next season. But there is an outside shot and maybe even a better shot than that he could wind up passing Yager for second all-time in points. I think he'd want to do that here. And I think he'd want to do that here with his guys. I think that's important too. I don't think he pounds the table the way you heard that he kind of did for Letang and Malkin to remain here if he doesn't want to play with them for the foreseeable future.
I'm going to say this, and take it whatever the way you want. I really believe that Sidney Crosby would want to win again here and want to retire here if Mario was still the owner. I feel like there's a huge tie there still, and there was, and I feel like he feels he doesn't have an allegiance to Fenway Sports Group and the regime that is there now. And Mike Sullivan's that last link. And if something were to happen to him, like we were talking yesterday, that would be probably the final straw. I think that is the last kind of gasp of air that is keeping Sidney Crosby engaged of being a Pittsburgh Penguin.
I can't disagree with any of that. I don't know that I agree with any of it. I can't disagree with any of it because he left open all possibilities with basically his non-answer yesterday. He could have said, I want to be a Penguin for the rest of my life. He could have said that, didn't say it. And so all of those things could go into to steal a Benzie phrase in a word, calculus there.